man fatally shot 3 people before being killed by police over the weekend in Unityville, Pennsylvania. The authorities said that 54-year-old Brian Taylor fatally shot his 60-year-old wife Linda Taylor before turning the gun on his sister, 52-year-old Andrea Meek, and then killing his friend, 55-year-old Jerry Zering. According to the Pennsylvania State Police, troopers responded to a home on the 15,000 block of State Route 118 at around 9:30 a.m. on Saturday the 5th of November on a report that a woman had been shot. The incident allegedly stemmed from a domestic dispute between Brian and Linda. After shooting his wife, Brian took off on foot towards Andrea's house on the 4,300 block of State Route 239, shooting at a passing truck along the way. After shooting Andrea, Brian took off from a house northbound on State Route 239 on an all-terrain vehicle. He then encountered Jerry and shot him. As troopers arrived on scene, they found Brian shooting at passing cars, and troopers exchanged gunfire with him, ultimately shooting and killing him. No one else was injured in the shooting. The troopers involved in the exchange of gunfire were placed on an administrative leave, as standard procedure, police said. The Pennsylvania State Troopers Association earlier praised the training and quick thinking of the troopers, saying they prevented more senseless loss of life. 35-year-old Cadillac Derek is behind bars and is accused of fatally shooting 22-year-old Lee Jonah Sanders and 53-year-old Laura Myers in Columbia, Missouri. At around 10:48 p.m. on Saturday the 5th of November, 911 dispatch received a call where the caller said Cadillac refused to give her keys back and had been abusing her. The caller told police Cadillac refused to let her leave the apartment and had threatened her several times. The caller said that Cadillac had a gun in his pocket and he allegedly told her if she didn't stay with him, he will kill her and her mother. Another person in the background can be heard saying, "Can you not see the baby?" before several shots are heard, followed by Cadillac saying, "Now what?" followed by expletives. The authorities responded to the caller's residence, located in the 1600 block of Boyd Lane. When officers arrived at the scene, they entered the apartment and found Lee Jonah had been shot dead, and Laura suffering from multiple gunshot wounds in a critical condition. Paramedics rushed Laura to the hospital, where she died shortly thereafter. The authorities said an infant was found in the apartment unharmed, and that Cadillac and one of the victims are the parents of the infant. Cadillac had fled the scene and was eventually arrested in Moberly after he turned himself in. His vehicle was later located without front or rear license plates. When questioned, Cadillac told officers that he was asleep when one of the victims came in and started fighting with him. The other victim had a gun, while he and the first victim were fighting, and Cadillac said she shot at him. Cadillac then told the investigators that he fought with the victim over the gun when it went off. He said he then retrieved the gun and shot the other victim before leaving the home. Court documents do not clearly state who Cadillac was fighting with, as names are redacted from the statements. Cadillac is charged with 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of armed criminal action. He appeared virtually in court on Monday the 7th of November. He was denied bond and remains held at the Boone County Jail. Cadillac's next court appearance is set for the 15th of November. At the time of the murders, Cadillac was out on bond for other alleged crimes that took place in August. In that instance, he was charged in September with domestic assault, endangering the welfare of a child, and 3rd-degree domestic assault. The victim said she woke up to Cadillac strangling her and punched on the left side of her face and stomach. The victim had red marks and scratches visible on both sides of her neck and upper chest, and there were also red marks on her abdomen. He was released on a $6,000 bond, which still remains an active case. A man is behind bars after allegedly killing his father and confessing to the crime. The incident occurred on the night of the 5th of November, when the authorities responded to a home located at 2212 Woodfield Park Drive in Memphis, Tennessee, after 32-year-old Jarvis Fulwiley called 911 and told dispatchers that he shot his father. When officers arrived at the scene, they entered the residence and found an unresponsive man lying in a pool of blood on the kitchen floor, with a gunshot wound to the left side of his face and a pistol found laying on the kitchen table. The victim was identified as 53-year-old Bonnie Fulwiley, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. Neighbours allegedly noticed Jarvis sitting on the curb before authorities arrived. Jarvis reportedly confessed to shooting his father after a verbal dispute turned physical. Jarvis was arrested and charged with murder, and is held at the Shelby County Jail on a $250,000 bond. He is scheduled to appear in court for a hearing on the 10th of November. 37-year-old Jonathan Hatmaker is behind bars after allegedly fatally shooting his 66-year-old mother Peggy Hatmaker. At around 11 a.m. on Sunday the 6th of November, the authorities responded to a home in the 5000 block of West Nighthawk Way in Tucson, Arizona, on a report of a person down. When officers arrived at the residence, they were met by Jonathan at the front door holding a handgun. After deputies entered the premises, they found Jonathan's mother Peggy dead on the floor. She'd been shot multiple times, including once to the head. Investigators said that due to the blood splatter, it appears that she was already on the ground on her back when she was shot under her chin. Jonathan reportedly called 911 after shooting his mother, telling dispatchers, "I killed my mum and she deserved it." Authorities asked him why she deserved to be shot, and he replied, "She gave birth to me." Jonathan, who has a history of mental illness, was arrested and booked into the Pima County Jail for first-degree murder. He remains held on a $1 million bond.